Welcome to The World in a Pickle, a special mini-series of Ferment Radio. My name is Aga Pokrywka, your fermentation wizardess, storyteller, and host of this episode. Since time immemorial, fermented foods have been a paradigm of preservation, but most of all, of everlasting transformation. The World in a Pickle focuses on fermented foods from different parts of the world to understand our current geopolitical complexities, from Mexico to Ukraine and from Brazil to Palestine. The World in a Pickle brings stories that ferment hope in the middle of trouble. Episode 1. They came from beyond. Imagine that you sit around a bonfire. It's a summer night and the sea glitters in the distance. It is still quite bright since the sun just set and a bunch of mosquitoes are biting your legs. It is warm and you sense a slight tension in the air. You wonder if that dark cloud means it will start raining now or a bit later. But you are also careless because you like the summer rain anyway. So where are you now, by the way? You are in Hiiumaa, an Estonian island in the Baltic Sea. Have you heard about it before? I am glad that you are here with me. I have lately become a frequent visitor of this island. It turned into my field laboratory to investigate what is foreign. In collaboration with plants, flavors, human voices, and insular soundscapes, I fermented this sonic journey to have a closer look on the gaps between local and foreign and how one becomes one or another. How can we even tell the difference between a person from here and a person from there? Who is a stranger? What you're about to listen to are conversations that took place in Hiiumaa. Some people I talked with are related to island for generations. Others have lived here for several years, or even come from the mainland, but have precious insights on what it means to be a stranger in different contexts. Now you are going to meet them too. We all used English to communicate with one another since it's the only language we had in common. We are all strangers to its pronunciation and grammar, but it helped us become more familiar with one another.
They are they want to get things quickly and straight. Of course, not all. If somebody is as a local, maybe we don't recognize. But they are in a hurry. They want to be in the first place. They need a very loud voice, different things. And sometimes maybe clothing. I don't think it is different, but just at home you have different clothing than on a vacation maybe, and in some places you can recognize that. And then just by faces, because we know so many local people by face, maybe not by name, so it's possible that I see these are not locals. If there was a sea accident, everybody were friendly. But if you started to stay too long, then maybe question marks. Do you take something away from locals? Where do you fit to this community? And then it's a little bit same now, because now these new building areas, 10 new places for newcomers, and they have their new community, or maybe not. They don't know each other, but they don't know also neighbors. So I don't know. I have the same situation. I don't feel myself very well because I have to look at a new neighbor's window. I don't know. They don't know me. They don't probably want to know me. They are from city. They are living very close to my house. It was open area before that. So I have to think how to communicate now, but usually it starts from the new person. But if they don't want to, if they are used to behave in this way as we think it's normal, then I have to figure out what to do, how to be with my new neighbor or the next neighbor. Old neighbors, we all say hello or send some maybe fishies, we have more, or do some communication. But how it begins with the newcomers from cities, their lifestyle is a little different. And now I have another new neighbor. This neighbors changed, and now they have lived there maybe not all year round, 4 years, and I don't know their faces. I don't know these people, but they are my neighbors, and I don't like this situation. Maybe they are very happy, but I am not. And I don't feel, how to say, as safety as before in my village. If I don't know these people with whom I share this area, and that is why there are different habits and behavior what is important. And there are some other people, they are coming, say hello, I am your new neighbor. I don't go to strangers kitchen to sit and I don't know, peel my potatoes. They can live their life, but I'd like to know who are my neighbors.
I'm a visitor in Hiiumaa, an island in the Baltic Sea, 22 kilometers from mainland Estonia. A little world within a world. Nevertheless, I'm at home here. Maybe because I feel like a visitor everywhere else. In the town where I was born, in the country where the people closest to me are from, and in the place where I have lived for more than 10 years. Everyone and everything is from somewhere. But not everyone feels at home in the place they are from. How does it feel to be a local for humans and other animals, for plants and bacteria? How does it feel to be a stranger? What does it mean to integrate? What do we do to make others assimilate? When you put diverse ingredients together, even from very different places, let's say cucumbers, salt, and water, they will attract local microbes. These organisms, invisible to the human eye, will get together, eat sugar, and start bubbling up. After some time, this interaction will gain momentum and transform into something completely different, a unique and distinctive taste. This is called fermentation. Let me prepare a magical potion. It will help you experience what integration, as in fermentation, could taste like. These are the ingredients. Water. The history of the island where we are right now started with the arrival of an extraterrestrial. 455 million years ago, a huge rock, 200 meters in size, fell to Earth. The meteorite exploded on the very bottom of what we know now as Baltic Sea. From this ground zero, a ball of fire, hot fumes, and droplets of liquidified rocks shot up into the sky. And a huge scar in the form of a crater was created. After some time, the waves calmed down and the dust settled, giving way to a steamy and hot atoll. The collision originated this island and the artesian water that got trapped deep below ground. You can actually collect this ancient water from very unassuming faucets on the side of the road, and in private gardens. It is exceptionally cold, crystal clear, and full of minerals.
We have giants on mainland, Kalevipoeg and his family, then Suurtel on neighbor island Saaremaa, and Leiger, probably he was a brother of Saaremaa's giant Suurtel, let's say he was one of the three brothers. And then he just came, this island became bigger, and Leiger came here and started to live differently, because Saaremaa was like a battlefield all time, because Suurtel all time had some battles of enemies. Leiger just lived, and freely and happily. By the stories, he was about 10 meters tall. So, and even in Bible, there are some mentionings that earlier people were very big. There were giants. So I think the last giants in this region lived on these islands, and they were pagans, but Leiger allowed to build a church even. Then elder brother Suurtel started to throw stones to the church, and always they threw stones everywhere. So all these stones are connected to giants. He helped people, sometimes made a road with some mittens full of soil, and helped people out. Or so he wasn't scary, but he had cabbage field, and he had sauna, and the important thing, he had visitors. Suurtel came here, and they started to build a bridge to Saaremaa, and cooperated somehow, and he started to build the ship, but he wasn't successful. Then just sit and look how other people used it. Just a normal person, a little bit bigger.
Wild East. On this island, landlords have always come from somewhere else. Throughout history, there have been about 30 manors on the island. That means one in every 30 kilometers. They left their mark in the land and people, locals and those from far away. The feudal system encouraged and caused injustice, including economic oppression and social inequality. It also brought new things like working methods, recipes, and plants. Many manors were known for their gardens and orchards. Maybe this is how the plum tree arrived to the island after a very long journey from the Caucasus. Last August, I picked plums from a garden with a view to the sea. Their sweet bodies were coated with a white, waxy bloom full of invisible yeast. This yeast is the reflection of something that can't be controlled. You never know what they can bring, something delicious or something rotten. I put the yeasty fruits in the container with water and fed them with sugar. After some days, the solution started to bubble up and was ready to be poured into a brew.
In summer 1990s, I do my fieldwork with my students on South Estonia. And of course, it's old women. He told about customs, rituals. It was a very interesting discuss. Yes, and I'm asking, are you born here just now, or it's your home farm or something? No, I'm not local person. I'm from the next village. And the 15 kilometers, I'm not local. In our mythology, if the strange people or animal goes to the village, it means something bad. Disease or something else. Because why? What's the reason? It means something worse, something bad. If the animals who lived in forest and they go to the village, what it means? Something bad is coming. Why he goes here? People explained if happened something bad, they said, yeah, I know it because I see maybe it's a animal. It was a reason why I see it. Maybe fire or something. You know, accident, the Estonia, the ferry, double rainbow. In Estonian folklore, it means something bad happened. And a lot of people started talk about after the accident that say in the same time or day before they saw double rainbow. But some people say that it is a very bad omen. When Baltic German landlords started cultivate the potatoes, it was very difficult to explain to the Estonian farmers why potatoes is a very, very good. As the Baltic landlords, they wanted that Estonian farmers, they started to steal the potatoes because they wanted to explain that potatoes are very good because we have only cabbage and something, but potatoes are good idea to plant it, yeah. Estonian farmers started to steal a little bit. Oh, is it important? Maybe something bad. Maybe it's a poison. It's a lot of humorous stories about it, and as the same as a coffee is coming to and new things. Estonians not take it like as great new, but why? I think Estonians on the islands, they are more open to the world because the men's were sailors and they have good contacts with the other nations. It was like the face to the sea. Island people, they are more open. The new music and new things and new clothes and colors.
Sugar. You might not believe it, but sugar used to rule the world. Arab trade routes brought it from its native home in South Asia to the Mediterranean, and from there it traveled to European colonies in the Caribbean, fueling the expansion of their empires. Since then, millions of people were enslaved to produce sugar, wars were fought over it, environments devastated, cultures destroyed. Sweet, white, and addictive. On this island, like in many other places, sugar used to be a luxurious and exclusive item that came from far away. For that reason, a tower was erected on the highest hill of the island. On the top of that tower, a bonfire that guided ships through treacherous waters marked the beginning of one of the first lighthouses in the world. But not all boats reached their destinations. A shallow sea full of rocks caused many ships to strand ashore. Lifeboats, goods, tokens of gratitude, and maybe even sugar as well, were washed up on the shore. Some sailors who survived these shipwrecks stayed on the island for shorter or longer periods, always leaving a permanent mark behind for generations to come. Does it feel like home already?
Still not 100% yet.
Okay.
But I feel like my second home. I still think in Thailand is my first home.
I I go to trip. When I go, I don't think about this. That I go to find somebody or my mind open on the place. I see many different people can stay together. Some friends go with some Philippine or Japan with English guy, and why not? You must be open your minds, and you can see more. First we meet. Next day, where she is now? Maybe I must go look again. And after 2 months, I go again to Thailand. Already to her. I mean, she's go very fast, very quickly. Yeah, nature connection and how they take care about nature. All this is same, like in Buddhism, like in these countries. They can't hurt a dog or cat or even bird or tree just for fun. If you need eat, they ask like, sorry. Same was in Estonia before. Estonians like forest. They like, if they have problem, they go to forest to walk just. Your mind be clear. Many countries they have like nature. This natural religion is same. They live in nature. They must take care about this. They must respect nature. After this, like European religions, Christians, I don't see. For them it's only God and people. But nature is like something else. Even in church, they don't speak about nature. They speak about human people. How is God? How much you must do about nature, I think. But they learn more about nature. How to be survived in nature. Like if something happens. Of course, they eat more at nature too. I see they can eat everything. They grow some flowers or something. They take leaves just and food and eat everything. Not flower, okay. It's not correct, not flower. Some leaves. She like to pick up mushrooms, but she don't go alone. Yeah, even daytime. And I try to figure out why. And they believe that the coast go to forest after people die. They stay in forest.
Yes, in Lucky Waco family, they are very friendly and they're warm enough. Like, a few people around me, I don't have much friend, but all the people I know, they are good. That's why I feel like family and home.
People are there. They accept because they need her. When they need you, you accept you. They don't. If they don't if they don't need you, they push you away. If you come to take say work or something like this, they don't like this. Or you come to take somebody wife or husband outside. People come. Oh, they was married, but you come to take. They never don't accept you. But of course, Hiiumaa. You never don't be Hiiumaa citizen because says you must born in Hiiumaa. Our friends come to us. We go sauna, we speak, and we make some food for them, and it was very interesting. It was like soups, tom yum, spring roll. She do sometimes some salad and everything. So good food. And after this, first time they get spring rolls, and they say, this is easy to sell. Many people want this, like this spring roll, but they don't make in Estonia good spring rolls. And this is easy to sell. You just bake this and go to street and sell this. Really? Okay, and she was very interesting at this because they home was restaurant too. Sister cook and she helped sometimes. And this restaurant we go with table, with small tent and fritter and spring roll and chicken. She make some ready soup, like tomka soup. We was big thermos pot, and we go there to sell this. And first day we sell all, finish. we decide to go 2 days or 3 days, but all finished. We can't go next day. Next weekend we do a little bit more already. And we sell all again. And we see people come already. Last week they come and they come again. And friend who say that you must do this, they ask, people come one time, or you have already regular costumers of the 3 times? I say, I can say half is regular costumers already. So, it means he likes this food. This was 22. And in June we rent this small carry, because more easy. If we carry everything there and weather is bad, we rent for 2 months, we rent a small carry. That's will go very well. And then they say, oh, you can take this place, but this was dirty, nobody don't be there 10 years already. Outside was small trees everywhere, nobody don't cut grass, and you can see potential. You must see how it's looking when it's clean. We can do this, we have time, 1 year. We start in May and we open end of October. It's this way. We just start, and all the families, they laughed about it. You will make restaurant, They don't believe that she can cook so well for Estonian people.
Curly-leafed rose. Some say that the seeds of the curly-leafed rose were brought here by birds. Others that they were carried by waves. The first bush of curly-leafed rosehip, or Rosa rugosa, came a long way from northern China, Korea, or Japan. It was first seen on the island's sandy shores on a hot summer day, the 30th of June, 1956. Those who found it saw a vigorous bush covered with a lush array of small, yet very aromatic pink flowers. A few months later, the flowers turned into large, edible hips, each containing a staggering amount of 62 seeds. They looked like small tomatoes, not quite red, almost orange, just fleshier and more sour. Some of the fruits lingered in the shrubs for a long time and became food for birds during the cold winter months. When the curly-leafed rose was the first spotted, the island was a military zone of the Soviet Union, a country that also came from somewhere else. Many beaches were turned into borders of the so-called Iron Curtain, and visiting them was strictly prohibited. These inaccessible zones became a heaven to everything but humans. In this environment, the Rosa rugosa thrived undisturbed until it became one of the biggest problems of the island. Its relentless will to survive posed a mortal threat to other native plants, since she doesn't care much for dry soil, salty water, strong winds, or even diseases. Oh, Rosa rugosa, are you a colonizer or an immigrant? Are you to blame and punish for your expansion? Do humans dislike of you because of your rebellious spirit? Are you an omen of inevitable change?
Now people are isolated. Now people are somehow so thinking about themselves. And the old time it was like a community thinking, and you offer out and you get it back. It was different relation in community. Maybe you don't like your neighbors, but you had, well, personally, I mean, but you had to do so many things together on the fields, or if you want to survive in tough conditions, You have to trust and help and do these things together. Maybe you don't want to do in this way, but it's very difficult to do differently, because these people were very brave who started to do things differently, because maybe neighbors were not ready yet and they didn't help you if you needed help. So to be sure that you can live in these places, you have to be friendly and not, pushing your personality or your will in the first place. And it gives you long-lasting, and you can't do big mistakes. Usually you say it takes at least 13 years to become local, but sometimes it takes longer. Better if you have been born here, and if you have a local family name, which is traditional family name. If he or she wants to be in this place, then he behaves normally. And if first years are a little bit difficult because you are in a new place, and I think there is no better or worse times. It depends on situations and people. Nowadays, from this viewpoint, it's easier. But now people, they are demanding so much more, and they are so personally touched by things, and that is why maybe it's not so easy again.
When an alien plant enters a new ecosystem, the dynamics of the environment shift. If the plant integrates well, it forms a symbiotic relationships with everything that was there before. It becomes connected with the native flora. Nutrition and resources flow from the environment to the plant and back, establishing a mutual relationship. If an alien plant fails to adapt to local conditions, the flow is disturbed and the sense of disconnection grows. The same happens when you talk to me and I answer with sensitivity. Your feelings shift. If I resonate with your words and reveal that in my gestures, expressions, and tone of voice, our separate beings become connected. Energy flows from you in the form of words and body language, connecting with me and coming back to you. If you close yourself off to the words, sounds, tastes, looks, smells, and needs of your surrounding, the flow is broken and the feeling of disconnection grows. Don't feel, don't look, don't care, become normal. When a part of your energy is unable to flow freely and interact, it gets fragmented and stuck in the unconscious. This might be caused by events from yesterday or from generations ago, triggered by intimate experiences or global occurrences. It may also be that you resist change. In all cases, you carry this unresolved energy within you. It weights you down and prevents you from fully engaging in the present moment. You react with the past to something that is happening now. This lack of connection extends beyond personal experience. It spreads from personal to interpersonal, and those who are othered struggle to become part of the present and future of their home. The same happens when bacteria, plants, bugs, and animals spread without connecting to the dynamics of the local ecosystem. There is no way to erase what's already done. There is no way to ignore the person next to you. There is no way to to eradicate the roots that grow deep in the ground. The only way is to surface what's hidden and incorporate what is separated. The integration of a plant into an ecosystem takes place when it becomes an integral part of its new environment, mirroring larger environmental changes. Integration means becoming part of the local community while maintaining your own identity. Diversity is an asset, not a threat. Healing, whether at personal, interpersonal, or interspecies level, involves initiating and restoring a connection. A connection is fermenting the unwanted and turning it into growth. You can feel when two separate things connect. You can feel when energy flows. This is how you get close to the world. Microbes are all around and within us. They fill in the gaps between you and me and keep our bodies going. They are fermenting, and so are we. How does that feel? Mixing together water, plum's wild yeast, sugar, and curly-leafed rose and letting them connect into a brew is about creating the right conditions for transformation to happen. The process of wild fermentation integrates microbes with local but not native elements, foreign plants, ingredients, and people. With fermentation, separate ingredients integrate to create a new and magical experience. Fermentation is cooking with microbes. Food carries identity, familiarity, and comfort. It preserves old traditions and creates new ones. Making and sharing food is a way to connect with others and rediscover lost identities. When people get together over food, they relate to each other and themselves. They energize their bodies, souls, and relationships. Are you hungry? What did you eat today? Where do you come from? Are you thirsty? Would you like to share a sip of fermented rosa rugosa with me? It's local, and it also comes from beyond. In July 2024, we actually sat around a bonfire and had a drink with an amber color. It tasted sour with a bitter note at the end and smelled like wine. This wine is my own recipe. It might not be a culinary representation of Hiiumaa, but it reflects the intimate connection I established with this place. It is a time capsule of last year's summer. This episode of The World in a Pickle couldn't have happened without the encounters, conversations, and fermentations that took place at the Food and Energy Residency at Cordon, a wonderful place on Hiiumaa Island. Thank you Miriam and Rasmus and the entire Cordon family for your excitement about everything that ferments and for keeping that fire going. Thank you, wild yeast. You grow so abundantly around us, and we don't even notice it. Thank you, curly-leafed rose, for your generous gifts. And thank you, Umberto, for picking up kilos of rose hips with me and for thinking and creating together. I would also like to express special gratitude to the people who shared their voices and views in this episode and whose excerpts you just listened to. Helgi Pöllä from Hiiumaa Museum, Marju Koivupuu from Tallinn University, Yui and Veikko Martin at Kaotai, the one and only Thai restaurant on the entire island. Thank you all who shared their knowledge with me. Rita Miller from the Environmental Board of Estonia, poet, biologist and pedagogue Taavi Tuulik, and Ave Gorsic from the Estonian Literary Museum and Estonian Folklore Archives. I hope this episode of The World in a Pickle helps you co-feel with personal experiences of unrest. I hope fermented food helps you transform your prejudices, simplifications, and generalizations. I hope it also encourages you to integrate your personal experiences into the global happenings we are all part of in a smaller or bigger extent. If you like this episode, please share it. If you would like to know more about the show, listen to this episode again, or find previous episodes, please go to fermentradio.com. You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. We would love to know what you think of this conversation, hear your human microbial stories, and your suggestions for future episodes. We are always looking forward to hearing from you at hello@fermentradio.com. You can also leave us an audio message on Instagram. The World in a Pickle is supported by the Kone Foundation and the Center for the Social Study of Microbes at the University of Helsinki and is brought to you by Super Eclectic. I'm grateful for this support and most of all for all our amazing Ferment Radio listeners. I am your host Aga Pokrivka. Keep fermenting and stay tuned for the next episode of Ferment Radio.